It's first day of work, so I'm gonna see how productive I can be here at home while he's gone. I have a list of things that I want to get done. Let me show you. Here it is. Trying to be organized. I'm not very good at this, but I'm gonna see, and I don't expect to get everything on the list done, but it'll be fun to see how much I can actually do. Definitely have not mastered the art of being a stay-at-home wife yet, but I'm hoping that I'll get there. What I don't want and what I'm trying to avoid is being on my phone all the time. I say this as I'm recording a video, and I'm hoping that maybe this video will inspire others to be phone-free and be productive. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a number for the order in which I do the things, and then I'm gonna put the time there so that way I can look back later and see when I got it done. And we have dishes, and I love dishes, so this will be fun. Let's go. Also gonna turn on some worship music because that just makes it better. And it just meant so much to me. Like, it meant so much to me that I almost cried. But like, it wasn't something that he had to spend money on or anything. So anyway, hope that's inspiring. It's good to get creative. And I guess that means I get to go back to dishes, but we're getting there. Yay. All right, there it is. In total, took about an hour, but I did have to stop and do a couple different things. So yeah, it is currently 11:24. So I'm going to come back to my list and see what I can do now. I'm gonna do the thing that I don't want to do now and clean the bathroom, because that's always the job that I put off the longest, because let's be honest, who likes cleaning toilets? But as David would remind me, I am grateful that I get to clean a toilet, because it means that we have indoor plumbing, and same with the shower and the sink, and yeah, it's a blessing. All right, here we go. Okay, the bathroom is done, and thankfully it didn't take as long as the kitchen, because if everything takes an hour to do, then I'll only get half of my list done before Dave gets home. Not all tasks are created equal, and the garden will only take a few minutes to water, so I'll go ahead and do that. And while I'm at it, I'll probably go ahead and plant that potato. Let me show you. So I put it in this water thing because I saw something on the internet about putting potato eyes in water and it growing a plant, but I didn't really know what I'm doing, and I still don't. So I don't know if it'll actually produce potatoes. It needs more water, but that's okay. But what I'm gonna do is just stick it in the ground and see what happens, because you never know unless you try and experiment. And yeah, the garden needs more weeding than watering. I think it rained last night and I didn't know it. One bummer thing about this plot is that there's this pipe and I don't know what it's for, but that's okay. I'm just grateful that I have a little bit of land on our apartment to plant. I had my plants in pots for a while, and the maintenance guy was over fixing something, and I said, hey, can I use that patch of dirt to plant my garden in? And I sent a message into to management, and they didn't answer, and he said go for it, so I did. And my tomatoes are much happier because they are not, oops, sorry kitty, hi, they are not on the porch in pots anymore. Plants don't really like being in pots. They're okay to be in pots, but you know, either that or I'm just not the best at taking care of them in pots. Anyhow, I'm gonna grab my potato here. There are several sprouts coming off of it because I didn't take apart the eyes. Those little guys right there, those are the potato eyes, and these are plants that weren't there before. So I think I need to take a knife and cut them apart, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't really know what I'm doing, so we will see. There were 3 main eyes. They got their little sprouts. So I'm gonna just leave it like that and plant them and see what happens. So I'm gonna go grab. So I asked ChatGPT, and I did something wrong with these potatoes. I was supposed to leave this before putting them in the water to let it sit out to prevent rotting. So I did not do that with the potatoes. I just put them straight in the water, so that's okay. I'll just put this in the ground and see what happens. I got the little roots there, you see that? And I am supposed to plant the eye. That was the question I had. I didn't know that, if I should plant the eye or not. We can see we got several little sprouts, so I'm excited. We'll see what happens. I'll try not to be too disappointed if it doesn't work out. All right, I didn't plant them where I thought I would. I decided I wanted to keep all my garden pretty much together. I need to come back out later and prune my tomato plants, but first I need to watch a YouTube video on that. As soon as I put this stick here, I tripped over it. That's kind of funny. I got a little potato eye right there. One right there. There's a little plant. Two little plants. Laundry's gonna have to be split because that's not really something that you can do all the way. Kind of have to throw a load in, fold some later, whatever. You know. Y'all know how to do laundry. What am I doing? One thing that I didn't know about laundry before I got married was you're supposed to put this stuff in first. I didn't know that. Then I'm like, okay, sure. Okay, I got a load of laundry in, so now I'm gonna come back to my list and see what I can do next. You know, it can get pretty lonely when David's gone. And at first when I started making videos, I felt really dumb talking to a camera. But at this point, it just was kind of, I don't know, it makes me feel less lonely knowing that some of my friends are probably gonna watch this video. Even though right now I'm just talking to a camera. Anyhow, I'm gonna keep doing this. I want to make an apple pie. Another reason I'm doing that is so that I can stick it in the oven, and then while it's cooking, I can go do something else. This is called efficiency. It's also called not procrastinating because David really wanted an apple pie. And it won't be like, oh no, he's gonna be home in 30 minutes. What am I gonna do? Been there, done that, and I don't wanna do it again. Even though he's always like, he never expects anything, but like still. Shout out to my mom and dad who made us this recipe book for Christmas one year. It's been my most useful, favoriteest Christmas present I have ever received. And this is full of ingredients that we, LOL, ingredients. This is full of recipes that we grew up on. So, yeah. That's why it's called Reinerson Favorite Recipes. One of which is apple pie. Another of which is the crust to the apple pie, which we always use for everything, not just pies. I mean, not just apple pies. I'll also be using it later for a pot pie. Bye, see you when the pie's in the oven. Okay, so 2.5 hours later, we have an apple pie in the oven. And the lattice work is kind of funky because I left my rolling pin at Taylor's house and I didn't bring it when I moved out. But look who came with the rolling pin. If I'd waited 20 minutes, we'd have a pretty lattice, but that is okay. I'm not very good at checking my phone. And now I need to sweep the kitchen, but you know, it's relatively clean now. So I sat down and I was writing down what time, and I'm about to mop, and it's currently 2:29 p.m. and that reminded me of a funny story that I was gonna tell. So there was one day I was here and I was sick. So David had to go to the store, and he comes home, and one of the things he got me was chocolate, and that was super sweet for him. And he says, I got you a stuffed animal. And I was like, okay. And he leaves to go get it. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why the heck would you get me a freaking stuffed animal? Like, why? It's just another thing that's just gonna sit around. We don't like having junk laying around. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna give him a good response. Like, I'm gonna be super grateful and super appreciative about it. And he comes back with a freaking mop. I was so excited. So I thought that I'd be washing the floor with a towel and vinegar spray. But I'm so grateful because I have a mop now. And he even brought home an extra bucket. And so I have a mop and a bucket. And it makes mopping not take an hour to do. It takes like 15 minutes to do the whole apartment. Anyway, those modern conveniences that we take for granted aren't to be taken for granted. But yeah, I was actually really excited to get that mop. So somebody got off work early and I didn't get everything done. But that's okay.
mustard?
Yes. Well, the pie was kind of a disappointment because it tasted a lot like honey, and honey has a very distinct flavor. But we don't want to use sugar or fake sugar for that matter, so I'm gonna have to do some research. Maybe I just need to put a lot of cinnamon and clove in it. Not sure. Looked for it. I didn't have either. But yeah, so thank you for watching.